and welcome to the Wealthy LaLa show with myself, Laurie Laursen. Today is episode 160 2. How are you today? I am actually really excited. Um, Gosh, on those days when I'm like, God, what am I going to talk about? And then something just sort of magical shows up, and I get an inspiration. And what I'm really excited about to talk about today, and you know how we really like life, planned out to a certain extent. There's a security, there's a comfort, there's a um, ease with, kind of having a certain plan with our lives, right? Now, one of the things that I'm discovering, okay, so you guys know how I've talked about, Tasha Silver's books, Change Me Prayers, or the It's Not Your Money. And one of the things that she really talks an awful lot about is surrendering. And I have a family member who's come for a wedding, and her and I had discussed, like probably 2 weeks ago, she had said, I'd really love to come and stay at your place. Do you think it's okay? And would you mind? I'd love to stay for maybe like a night or two. Would that be all right? And I was kind of like, oh, like we've just, we've had a lot going on. I had a cold, my husband had a cold. We just the things that were going on in life, that just seemed like too big of a commitment to say yes to. So I had said to her, I'm not sure if that will happen. And she's like, well, you know what? Good to know ahead of time. So let's say at minimum, we can like get together for like a supper or go watch a movie or something. And it was like, great. Now, this is what I'm discovering, is that sometimes when we just allow ourselves time and the choice to be able to choose as we go along, it opens up this space, and it's like it creates this sense of relief, this sense of space in your world, that you can allow things to be somewhat spontaneous. And I really am kind of getting the adventure of life is actually something that is created way more spontaneously than a lot of us um, are able to allow. And, so, because there's almost like kind of like a lack of safety, lack of feeling like the universe has your back, a lack of trusting, a lack of surrendering that most of us have to a certain degree, and depending on the area in our life would depend too on where we're able to have more ease or whatever with that. But what I noticed is um, with this visit, we've I've been allowing myself to almost like not hold on tightly to the reins of any expectations of what needed to happen. So now what was really cool was that as it got closer, so I think about a week ago, she had texted me and said, hey, have you given thought? Do you have any awareness as to whether it'd be 1 or 2 nights or at all? And I said, you know what? And or could you pick me up from the airport? So the airport is a good hour and a half from where I live. And when I checked in with the heavy and light, so keeping in mind with all of this, people, that this is where I'm learning to really trust my awareness. So I'm learning to ask questions even more, because I'm learning to ask questions with my awareness and with life where it's involving other people. So it's not just me anymore. I'm expanding it into areas of my life where like with regards to other people. And, oh, just a sec here. Okay, sorry. Had to pause it there for a second just to have a little cough. I'm so grateful every day that I'm just having more and more ease with this. So I'm really allowing myself to sort of surrender to each moment and allow myself to kind of play with the energy of what creates greater. And I'm not deciding ahead of time, and I'm also not letting myself be influenced by other people. It's like I'm really staying present with myself, what actually works for me, and knowing that what works for me actually works for other people. Because, I've had a few situations lately where I chose something with my awareness, and I also had one where I chose my awareness and the other time I didn't, and I got to see the impact of both of them with a lot of clarity. And I've discovered that when I do choose for my awareness, it just creates greater. So you're not wrong. Like when I didn't choose with my awareness this situation recently, it's not that I was wrong. It still provided a lot of clarity, which was actually really good. So anyways, back to this visit. So I had said, no problem. Yes, I will pick you up from the airport and we'll have you for the one night. And she's like, okay, that sounds great. So yesterday it was kind of neat because remember I told you yesterday on my show, I was actually doing, I was able to do, like I was in the city for like about 6 hours or whatever. And I got the thought to go to my brother and sister-in-law's place and they're away right now. So I was able to use their internet, record a podcast. I was able to, have a bit of a nap and do a meditation. And then there was, what was it? But I got everything done. I got to do even my journaling, my journal prompt with this course that I'm doing right now, which I'm just absolutely loving with Corey Michelle. And anyways, so, and then I got the awareness, which I'd forgotten about with the app. Like, there's apps, and then you can go onto like WestJet, which is an airline in Canada. You can actually go on their website. You can put in the flight that you're looking for, and it will tell you exactly where the flight is, like where the plane is. It will tell you how far till it lands. It will tell you when it lands. And it was so great because I was able to stay at my brother and sister-in-law's place a little bit longer because with the app, I knew exactly when they were going to land. I knew how long it was going to take to the airport. Like everything, like all of these things that I'm allowing myself to choose, I'm getting to have this sort of excitement of life. These little things that are just kind of like creating this excitement, which is really fun. So anyways, I picked her up from the airport. We were a little bit late, but I expected we'd be home by 9:00, and we were. We had a nice visit. And when I went to bed last night, I was still like, no, one night is what feels light. And we'll create more. So got up this morning, and just with the way the morning went, my body actually woke me up early. So I was up at like 20 to 6. Got up, did my journal prompt again for my class. Then I did my meditation, and then my body, I was ready for the day. So I'd gotten my space to myself, which is what I required. I needed to choose me. And then we were having lunch with my daughter and one of my daughter-in-laws were coming over with all 3 grandkids. So then my cousin, she got to visit with all of them. Then one of my sons ended up coming by totally unexpectedly. He got off work early. Then I thought I was going to be watching the boys this afternoon. And then all of a sudden that changed. So when I thought I was watching the boys, I was going to take my cousin back to the city. Well, because now my son got the day off or the afternoon off, he was going to take the boys camping. So then I wasn't going to have the boys anymore. Well, then it became just in an offhanded comment where I said, oh, well, Marie, my daughter, lives not that far away. She's got a really cool house. And my cousin says, oh, I'd love to see it. Now, this is what's really cool, people, is that the universe gives you insights as to what will create greater by the energy that someone says something, not because a person necessarily says something, but an energy. And when she said, oh, I'd love to see it, I have total choice whether I take her there or not. But what I was aware of was how light it was. It was like super light to actually take her there. So it actually ended up that right now, so my daughter was here. I said to my daughter, would you take my cousin with you? I can record my podcast, like see how the universe has my back. Then I can do this in the house on my own by myself. And then I also got the idea of going to visit our other son, who she's now going to get to see. But in the meantime, we're going to go to this really cool little bar that's right like 2 miles away from where he lives, because we live in the country, so 2 miles is like 2 minutes. And um, it's a really cute, fun bar that has watermelons all over it. And so we'll probably have supper. It's something I don't have to cook. We can have just to have a beer. We can have some wings. We can have some French fries or a hamburger or something. And what I'm noticing is that when I was concerned before about making sure that I had my own time, I was concerned about what I wasn't going to get. And then I began to change the energy of the whole situation and kind of surrender it more to the universe, that I would be willing to follow the energy of it and whatever creates greater. Now, it was really interesting because about halfway through the day today, I got, you know what? And it was funny because my cousin goes, "Oh my God, I'm having so much fun here. I'm so incredibly grateful." And then she saw we have this little hot tub. We have a 2-seater hot tub on the deck, and she's like, "Oh my God, you mean we could have had coffee in the hot tub out on the deck in the morning? Oh, if I could stay another night, I would love to do that with you tomorrow." And I was like, "Wow, that actually does sound fun." And this is what I'm getting to know, and I'm so grateful for this experience, is that I was so concerned about making like wanting to have my own space, just needing to just choose for me, that I was deciding to a certain extent that that meant that a lot of this couldn't happen. And what I'm discovering as I keep just sort of following the energy and allowing each thing to sort of unfold, because the girls, when they were coming for lunch today with the grandkids, were coming from 11 to 1, and then they were going to leave. I was going to have the grandsons, and then I was going to take my cousin back to the city. And because it then ended up that my son ended up coming over, they were here a bit longer, and then it became another conversation. And then not only that, like, if you guys know this, like if you guys have company and you're just one-on-one, it can be a lot to have an expectation of interaction for that long. And what's happening is, with all of this, it is really fun to share my kids with her. It was been fun to share my grandkids. I got to cook lunch for everybody, which is fun for me. I didn't have to be the one that was on all the time. And I've got to do my podcast. And, and now we're going to go to this fun, cute little bar. And she's going to, oh, excuse me, guys. And then we're going to get to go to this little bar. And she's going to get to see her other son's house. And then, I said to her, "I think it's going to work out that you probably will stay here a night," because it actually doesn't work for me to then at 7 o'clock at night take her back to the city. I think I'd rather just get up in the morning, do my meditations, do the hot tub, and then take our time and cruise and take her into the city during the day. And then there's just more ease and relaxation. And I'm actually almost really aware, and this is just awareness on my part. If she ever listened to this show, maybe she would disagree. But I really am getting that she's enjoying being in this space, like the space of our yard, just sort of getting to have really nice visits with everybody. It's getting her away from it's just a different environment, like, that's all. And I mean, she's going to be heading into a weekend full of wedding plans and, wedding festivities, and she's going to be with her sisters and her nieces and all that kind of stuff. And I'm really getting that this is almost like a little bit of a vacation prior to the, all of the onslaught of the wedding festivities and fun. And so I'm really grateful that not only am I being looked after, but I'm also being able to be generous and, yeah, with my life with her. And and what I'm loving too is there's an appreciation watching someone else appreciate what is in my life, and you sometimes get so used to that you don't even, it's nice when you bring in something different. And then all of a sudden you start looking at your life with a little extra, like when I'm seeing the grandkids and I'm seeing her enjoy them, I'm like, those are my grandkids, and you get that fun, playful, um, just atmosphere, environment. So anyways, I have no idea what I will title this show. Um, I guess it would be just, are you really willing? Would you be willing? Could you be willing to invite in and let it be okay that you can choose moment to moment to moment to moment? You don't have to have it figured out all ahead of time. I can honestly tell you that creating it this way before would have been hard for me. It's been a little bit uncomfortable, and I've allowed myself to stay really present with it all, and it's really honestly been turning out so much greater. The universe has so been surprising and delighting me, and I'm so incredibly grateful for it. So thank you guys so much for listening. Have an amazing rest of your day. And for those of us in Canada, happy long weekend. All right. You guys take care. And if you're inspired to share, please share the podcast. I would be so grateful. Thank you.